Hey everyone, it is a better lit Courtney of the future coming here and asking you to give a little bit of forgiveness to the Courtney of Monday evening that you are about to see. She was recording late at night in her bedroom, sun had already gone down, so please forgive the poor lighting, and better lit Courtney of the future. We'll see you again on Sunday. Bye. Hello everyone, my name is Courtney and welcome back to my channel. If you are watching this, that means that I have decided to do another reading vlog, for better or for worse. It has been a lot of fun this past week, picking up my camera, recording more bits throughout my day. I am so used to recording things in like an Instagram story though, that I need to be a little bit better at taking longer clips. I also need to just slow down a little bit. I end up repeating myself or saying the same phrases over and over. And I think if I just slowed my roll a little bit, it'd be a little bit more natural to how I'm speaking. And I'm definitely still getting a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera here. So I appreciate you all for bearing with me. Today went by so fast. I had to work for a few hours in the morning, and Wolf had his 9-month checkup at the pediatrician. So we decided to walk all the way there since it was over 70 degrees today. It's like a little over 2 miles each way. Did some grocery shopping. I have been absolutely knocked over the head with TikToks of Asian inspired cucumber salads. So I made that, and I also made some lettuce wraps, and Wolf just finally went to bed, and I am really looking forward to just stretching out on the couch with a beer and finally doing some reading. As a carryover from my last vlog, I am reading The Golden Couple by Sarah Pekkanen and Greer Hendricks. I gotta be honest, I haven't been able to read that much over the past couple of days because we've been so busy, and then because I'm so busy, I am also so tired. And I just haven't had that pull to get back to picking up The Golden Couple. I think I'm just not far enough into it yet to be fully invested in what is happening. And I think that the only thing that is pulling me right now to pick it up is wanting to have things to talk about, but also because I have a shitload of library holds that are all coming in at once. Like I mentioned in the last vlog as well, I do have The Golden Couple. I have Notes on an Execution. I also have Light Years from Home. And I also just got another one. It's a nonfiction though, so it's probably something that I will be reading on my phone. And that is Simplicity Parenting. I am not really a parenting book sort of person, but this one did sound interesting to me as we sort of navigate having a baby and engaging him with the world in such like a technology obsessed sort of culture. This book did sound really interesting. And even though I'm not a parenting book sort of person, I do think that there will be maybe a few valuable pieces of information for me in there. In last week's vlog, I did show a little clip of me reading Empire of Pain by Patrick Radden Keefe, and I forgot to talk about it entirely. I did spend a few hours listening to this, and I'm getting to like the end of the 90s, the early 2000s, and it's starting to get so interesting. We're starting to get to where OxyContin is starting to become a problem. Too many people are getting hooked on it, addicted, dying, realizing that it's more potent if you snort it or inject it, as is, of course, the crisis that we have right now. And the thing that's so wild to me, so infuriating, is just this web of connections that this family has created just by being fucking rich. Not only do they own these like pharmaceutical companies, but they also own the marketing companies that are selling these drugs to doctors, and they get like the FDA in their back pocket that sort of creates a more lenient report of what this drug is actually like. So that has been simply fascinating. I am really enjoying listening to it, and it is narrated by Patrick Radden-Keefe himself. And I swear that as he's uncovering these juicy little bits of information, you could hear it in his voice. This book is so massive. You can only imagine the amount of research that went into it. You could really hear the payoff of how he must have felt researching all of these connections and tying it all together. Thank you so much for watching my previous vlog as well as this one if you're here for it. I am learning a lot about YouTube. It is taking me thousands of years to put in songs during the video and making it sync up correctly. I don't know if any of you have ever used the YouTube editor, but it is not great. If you have any recommendations for better editors for like adding copyright-free music, please let me know. I'm very excited to get a little bit further into The Golden Couple, listen more to Empire of Pain, and try to knock out some of these library books. It's just getting absolutely nuts. So I will be checking in with you tomorrow. Bye, good night. Happy Tuesday. I thought about not even picking up my camera today. There's just truly absolutely nothing going on. It is just like a gray, rainy, kind of shitty day outside. I had to do a lot of work this morning. I was actually pretty busy. And then I was getting Wolf down for a nap and taking care of him basically. So not a whole lot going on, but then during his second nap, Katie Colson was doing some live sprints on her channel. So I decided to do some reading sprints while he was sleeping. Typically, if Wolf is napping, I am like in one of 3 modes, and that is also nap mode. Usually I take a nap along with him. I am playing on my phone like some stupid game or just scrolling through Instagram, you know how it goes, or I am actually reading. So the sprints were a nice motivator because it's not very often I'm in that 3rd reading level. I did get to a little bit over 100 pages, and just like my day, there's not a lot going on. Before I picked up my camera to start filming this, I was like, like what could I describe as like what is happening? And it's truthfully really not that much. You know, we have Avery, who is our therapist. She has this sort of creepy situation going on where she feels like she's being followed because of a situation that she injected herself into with one of her clients. And honestly, that storyline seems pretty interesting, but that's not where we are. We are just kind of dealing with the aftermath of that. And then we have this rich couple who, like, the wife cheated. That's all we know, and that's all we still know. And, you know, Avery prompts them to go out to dinner together and try to, like, spark what brought them together in the first place. You don't even get like their conversation at dinner. There's like one tense moment, and then it's all just kind of recap or, you know, like exposition there, which is frustrating because to me, The Golden Couple is maybe supposed to be a thriller, And it's just boring. Like, we get one like thrilling kind of weird moment, and then it's just like a slog of like very mundane like day-to-day stuff. Avery adopts a dog, spoiler alert. But then as she's like setting up for dinner, it's I poured some kibble into his bowl, and I got out plates, and I got out silverware and napkins. It's like that for so many different parts of the day. And so then it's just like once you wade through all of this boring information and the sort of like the boring details of their day-to-day life, then you're hit with something kind of interesting, but then it goes back. And so it's just making the pace of this extremely slow. I'm just like, come on, like, let's get on with it. So that is sort of frustrating. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it. Like, it's fine. Definitely in like a 3-star territory for me right now. And so what happens in the next 2/3 of the book will really make or break that, if it's going to be like a 2 or closer to a 4. I am super nervous though with all of this exposition and all of this mundanity. I'm nervous that the twist is going to be kind of meh. Like, it's kind of like they're trying to hit a word count in a school essay, right? Where it's like boring, 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 boring. We're going to use our thesaurus. We're going to walk through her day with her. And I hope that it's building to something, but I'm not that confident so far. So I'm thinking that either the twist is going to be mind-blowing and they're like putting us to sleep so that way we can like wake up with a shock and twist and be like completely amazed by it, or it's so boring because the story has nothing, and so the twist will just kind of be like a wet firecracker. Not much going on for the rest of the evening. Like I said, it's super crappy outside, so I think we're just gonna play with the baby, make some dinner. I know Peter, my husband, said that he wanted to play some Animal Crossing tonight, so that is usually when I do a lot of reading. So we're gonna see how this goes. Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. I feel like this week is going by extremely fast so far, which is weird because the weather has just been such crap the past 2 days, and I feel like usually that makes time go by so much slower. Today is yet another like cloudy, gray, rainy day. I am at least glad that Wolf and I made it outside for like 15 minutes to go get a coffee around the corner and a little treat for myself while he took a nap. Did get close to, I think, about 60% of the way through the Golden Couple, and it is picking up a little bit. There are a lot of the different threads out there are starting to come together again. They're starting to make a little bit more sense. I still am just not loving it that much. I don't know if I'm just not in a domestic thriller mood, or if now I need something a little bit more intense than like cheating drama between husband and wife. It just like doesn't hit for me in the same way, and this is so far pretty vanilla. It's not like extremely creepy. There are like tense moments, but I think that these days I just want something a little bit more from the thrillers that I'm reading. It's a little disappointing so far. There are just certain things that don't quite make sense. This therapist, she has her 10-step program essentially that she swears is like all that's needed to make her clients completely different people and completely change their situations. But then in the third meeting, she titles it Escalation. And I was so excited. I was like, oh shit, things are gonna get crazy. Like, things are gonna escalate, as the title of the session suggests. And all they really discussed was stuff that they had discussed in their first meeting. You know, the husband is still obviously very salty that his wife had an affair. We still don't know who it was with. And in the first session, so I'm not even considering it a spoiler because it happens within like 6 pages, but you know, the husband alludes to the fact that he has a close friendship with an ex-girlfriend of his from college, and so the wife is salty about that. She's a little bit jealous of their relationship. And even in the first meeting, the therapist Avery, she encourages the husband to like think about a time that he was in bed with her, sort of to like get back at his wife for her infidelity. And it's kind of the same thing in this escalation session. You know, there was no like new information uncovered, nothing escalated as we were promised. And so far in general, the sessions had just been kind of lackluster. A lot of the action is taking place outside of the sessions and in their personal life, and as Avery starts like digging around, we'll see how it goes. I'm still thinking this is for sure a 3-star. We're kind of getting a little bit late in the game, I think, for my mind to be really blown, but you never know. I guess I've been surprised before. We don't have anything else going on tonight. This is like kind of what's held me back from vlogging before, is that you know, during the week, we don't really have that much going on. It's just a lot of hanging out at home, chilling with the baby, reading while he sleeps, and cooking food. That's a lot of what's going on. The weekends are a lot more exciting, so I was thinking maybe I would switch to weekend vlogs, but at the same time, since my weekends are a little bit more exciting, I'm not reading as much, so there's not as many updates. I think we'll just keep doing this as it stands, and I do have another video I'm hoping to put up this week, so by the time you watch this, you will have already seen how I rate my books. And I actually just got another fucking library hold. Chicago Public Library has really been like keeping me bogged down, right? So on top of the millions of other books that I have that I already mentioned, I did just get Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I'm really excited about that. I feel like I've heard nothing but good things about it, but I have quite a few in the queue, so got a lot of reading. I feel like I'm in college again almost. That is it from us. Got anything else to say? No? Okay. See you guys tomorrow. Bye. Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday, I think, / hope. It is the end of the day, and so if it looks like I am covered in baby drool and dog hair, that's because I am. I am here editing my video that I'm hoping to get up like tomorrow or Saturday. I think I've maybe recorded like 1 or 2 clips today. I'll probably do 1 or 2 more. I just wanted to get my editing done before I really settled in with my book. I am so close to finishing The Golden Couple. I'm really hoping to finish that tonight. I got quite a bit of reading done last night, and I don't know if it's because I'm tired or if because I'm just like not invested in the story, but I feel like I barely remember anything that was happening. Like I was saying earlier in this vlog, or maybe it was the last one, that like stories about rich people just aren't doing it for me anymore. And these people are just so hopelessly boring. You know, we've got this rich woman running a boutique, and she's on like the committees at school and blah blah blah, and then her husband is a lawyer, I think, and they were, you know, sweethearts from the time they were teenagers. And that's them. You know, she's had this, moment of infidelity. He's got this girlfriend that he's close to. And that's like it. There's these different things where in the moment, the writing does a really great job at amplifying the tension that's happening, of really elevating like Avery's feelings as she's sort of navigating the waters of this couple. So you do kind of get reeled into the drama of what's happening. But when you take a step back, it's just not that exciting. I think I'm like 85 or 87% of the way through. My husband is at his brother's apartment for a few hours this evening. So as soon as I get this video edited, I am going to settle in with my tea and a cookie and get back into the book, hopefully finish it. I am really, really excited to read Notes on an Execution. My friend Ellen actually already listened to it on audiobook, and she said that she was like tearing up during multiple parts, and that was just such a really great story. So I'm hoping that has a lot more interesting characters and things going on than The Golden Couple. So I'm going to put that shit to bed. See you guys tomorrow. Finally. Today was actually a big reading day for me. I finished The Golden Couple this morning. I was hoping to finish it last night, but I think it's very indicative of this book that I was 10% away from being done and I passed out. Like we were at like the climax of the story and I was just ready to go to sleep. On Goodreads, I gave it a 3-star, but on Storygraph, I gave it more of a 2.75. It just like didn't do much for me. The characters, I didn't feel like I could really fully connect to them. They were very surface level, sort of vanilla type of characters. And I didn't particularly like any of them, and I didn't particularly hate any of them either. I was also disappointed by Avery, the therapist character. A lot of the like synopsis and discussion around this book is how she is this maverick therapist with unconventional methods, and she's so intense and has all of these things that really make her this unique therapist. And like she does some things that are definitely unprofessional and like not par for the course for a therapist. But in terms of being like really off the wall, super maverick and unique, I didn't get that vibe at all from her. Especially like I mentioned, I think yesterday, how she has this escalation session and the escalation was just like nothing happening. Didn't really do anything for me. The conclusion was whatever. Outside of the infidelity within this marriage, there is this, subplot that sort of happened in the past. And because I didn't give a shit about the characters now, I didn't really give a shit about this thing that happened in the past. It just seemed kind of like a non-thing to me. I just didn't really care that much. So The Golden Couple was not it. It was not very good. So once I finally finished that, I was very relieved. And then I was able to start Notes on an Execution by Danya Kukafka. And wow, I got about 20% of the way through it. And I have already cried. Notes on an Execution starts with Ansel, and he is a prisoner on death row, and he is accused of being a serial killer, and it starts right out where we are 12 hours out from his execution. We don't know for sure if he is there wrongfully or if he actually is a serial killer, but it starts out in a second person narration, and it really puts you in the place of Ansel as he is preparing his things and getting ready for his execution. And while he's preparing for that, he's thinking about what got him here and what his life was like to bring him to this point of being a death row inmate. And the first perspective that we get into is his mom, Lavender. And it's just so sad. It's so harrowing. She moves in with his father when she's very young, has him very young. If you read The Devil All the Time by Daniel Ray Pollock, where it's just this like middle of nowhere town, very bleak, it's kind of that vibe where her husband, they're kind of like high school sweethearts, I think. She has Ansel very young, and they live in this mountain cabin of sorts in the middle of nowhere. She never leaves the property, and as the years go by, her husband just becomes more and more abusive. And when she has Ansel, it's things like restricting food, and so it's definitely very heartbreaking, very fucked up to read. Lots of course, like child abuse and spousal or like domestic violence as well. She's really feeling trapped, and like she's not even able to be a good mother and take care of her son. And then she also has a second baby as well. And so she's seeing Ansel in this position where he has to take care of this baby because she just sinks to this really low place where she feels like she can't. And so she's making these tough decisions, making these plans, trying to plot and escape. And so I really think we're going to be getting to this point of nature versus nurture. Obviously, Ansel starts out in this very rough, horrible living situation. And I was just so sad reading it. I was like talking to my husband on his lunch break, just literally in tears and crying. And I think that before I had Wolf, I've heard of women, especially who say like, oh, I can't watch true crime anymore, or especially not things that deal with like child abuse and things like that. And I just like never thought that I would be that person, and here I am. Like, part of it was that Wolf is like napping on me, and I'm just reading all of these terrible things that are happening to this guy, and especially since he's about to die. And I was just really in my feelings about it. So I am excited to get back into it. The writing is obviously great, just to spark such an emotional reaction from me. I am nervous because if I'm crying already, I can only imagine how it's going to go as we see more into his life and get into that and get even closer to his execution. So I'm scared. Sunday. Nice to see you all again. I did not pick up my phone to record a single thing yesterday. Like, I didn't even take a picture of my baby. And that is because I think I've been feeling a little bit burnt out this week. I had an extremely busy week with work. And that, on top of taking care of a baby, oftentimes doing both at the same time. By the time Saturday rolled around, I just couldn't anymore. Luckily, my husband was home yesterday, and I generally try not to believe in mom guilt as a concept at all. But I was feeling a little bit guilty. I pretty much just vegged all day and didn't really play that much. I wasn't really engaged in almost anything, but I did get some much needed rest in. I played a lot of the new Oregon Trail game in the Apple Arcade, and I became thoroughly addicted to that. So that was a lot of fun. I didn't do any reading until after Wolf went to bed, and pretty much I was getting ready to go to bed too, but I wanted to get back into reading Notes on an Execution. I did also pick it up again this morning during Wolf's first nap. So I think I'm close to about 50% of the way through, and I am just loving it so much. I don't want to be so bold as to say that it's going to be a 5-star for me, but it could possibly be a 5-star. The writing is just so stunning. It's so emotional, but without being too like over the top or flowery. So it's very raw, very emotional. She's really not afraid to go to those dark, grimy sort of places. I love the second person point of view for our serial killer, Ansel. It is very creepy, and we are getting into the perspectives of 3 women whom have been involved with him in some way or another. So we have Lavender, his mother. There is Saffron, who is a friend from childhood. And there is Hazel, who is the sister of his wife. I don't know if there's any connection or reason for them all to have color names so far, but all 3 of their names are colors. Each of their perspectives so far have been equally interesting. I have really liked following each of these 3 women, and it goes into their history and their history with Ansel. You get some of it from Ansel's perspective as well, and that second person point of view when we're in Ansel's POV is just so anxiety inducing. We're starting to see how different things from his past have been influencing how he's turned out. I am so used to prison stories trying to convince us of somebody's innocence, and I was sort of reading it in that way first, and I really don't think that's the case. I don't think Ansel is innocent, and I don't think he wants us to think that he's innocent, which is kind of refreshing but also very terrifying. He has this theory of how it's not our bodies that make us who we are, it is memory and choice. And he is latched onto this memory from his childhood that is literally so devastating, and it's connected to the scene that really made me cry in the first 20%. So you do sort of get that nurture versus nature discussion happening as well. I think if anyone is a true crime fan, you will absolutely love this. We do get some really gruesome descriptions, really creepy psychological stuff happening. There is some police procedural things going on, which are still really interesting to read, and I just love it. I'm really eager to get back into it. Every time I sit down to read, I knock out a whole chunk at once. I am back to being wide awake in bed at night, turning each page. I was up till 12:30 last night reading, and I had a really hard time putting the book down to go to bed. And it's just a gorgeous story. I will say definitely be sure to check your trigger warnings. There are quite a few for domestic violence, child abuse. There is some animal stuff in there. Not too descriptive or on the page, but more like the aftermath. Like I said, we're dealing with a serial killer here, so it does get into that really, signs of a serial killer sort of things there. Be mindful of that, but I do think that Danya Kukafka has handled it with a lot of grace and curiosity. That has just been really exciting to read. I also finally got out of the house today, which was super nice. It's back to being so cold. On Monday at the start of this vlog, I was walking around in a t-shirt and it was hot out, and today I was wearing my winter coat walking around the neighborhood. Our niece came to visit for a couple of hours, so we were just showing her some of the neighborhood spots that we love a lot, but it was nice to at least walk around, feel the sunshine a little bit, and hopefully it will be warm again soon. I think on top of just the burnout from this week, the shitty weather has not helped at all. So I'm looking forward to a new week. I am very excited to finish Notes on an Execution. I anticipate that happening in the next vlog. I'm not sure if I'll finish it in time for my March wrap up. Hopefully I do, but if I don't, just know that I am very excited to talk about it some more in the next vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching another one. I think you can see in the clips, I'm getting a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more candid talking in this way. I still hate the sound of my voice being played back to me while I edit these, but I am still enjoying this process of reading, checking in, and just showing off a little bit more of my day-to-day with everybody. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, like this video, and leave a comment down below with how you get out of a slump. How do you treat yourself when you're having those yucky mental health weeks? Is it playing Oregon Trail for 5 hours and reading late into the night? Do you like to get a manicure? I'd be curious to know. So leave a comment down below letting me know, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.